Did you know the Queen of England enjoyed Marcus Wareing's nutmeg-custard tart on her 80th birthday? It's legendary in the United Kingdom. And gently work it into the flutes and crevices and corners. Careful there, Captain Breadhook. That dough looks delicate.
I know. It's really thin and flat. Do you think it is?
Your mission, should you choose to accept, is to steal 2 fresh nutmegs from Christopher Columbus. He stole America, so 2 wrongs make a right in my book. That makes me a privateer! Oh, I'm so excited! This message will self-destruct in 5 seconds.
Oops.
Earlier this morning, we made the crust. It has to take a nappy poo for 2 hours in the fridge. You take 225 grams of flour, weighed out.
Why, thank you, Willifrida. I've got a bigger scoop, okay?
And the zest of a lemon. Careful not to scratch off the white part because that's bitter. We'll make lemonade with the lemon later on. And with your fingers, rub in 150 grams of unsalted butter. You want to coat the butter with the flour and then squeeze it with your fingers. This helps prevent gluten from forming. Marcus Wareing is a Michelin star chef. That's a prestigious and internationally recognized guide for culinary excellence. It originated in France in the early 20th century when the Michelin Tire Company began publishing restaurant guides to encourage more travel and therefore more tire sales. Rub it in until it looks something like Parmesan cheese. You know, the kind you put on spaghetti. Then add in your sugar and make a well in the middle. Mix in your egg and egg yolk. You want to mix it just until the dough comes together. Our dough is quite wet. I think those British chickens are smaller than American ones. You know, we like everything supersized. Wrap it in cling wrap and let it take its nappy poo in the fridge for 2 hours.
Oops. Nutmeg poo. Oh.
Now roll it out to about 1/8 of an inch thick. We give it a quarter turn every once in a while to help us roll it into a circle. This also helps us keep the mat floured.
Oh, this is sneaky. It's fragile. It's so thin. Let's try it this way.
Crumple up a piece of parchment paper that's big enough to hang over the sides and fill it with baking beans, or rice if you like, and bake for 15 minutes at 350 degrees. Then take out the beans and bake it for 10 minutes longer, or until it turns a golden brown. Mission accomplished. We have nutmeg on hand. Fantastic. We're going to have a top-rated tart. Turn down your oven to 265 degrees now. Take 9 egg yolks, right, 9 of them. You can separate them with your shell or with your fingers. If they're fresh out of the fridge, they're easier to separate. And don't worry about all those whites. You can freeze them. 1 white equals 1 egg. You can see how we use them to make Italian meringue buttercream. Right there. Whisk in 75 grams of sugar and heat your cream to the steaming. How much is that? About 150, 160. And slowly pour it into your yolks. This is called tempering. It brings up the temperature of the yolks without making scrambled eggs. And just in case we did make scrambled eggs, we passed it through a fine mesh sieve into a big measuring cup. And this will come in handy and make your life easier in the next step. Put your shell in the oven and then pour in the filling. It'll pour right to the very tippy top. And sprinkle on your grated nutmeg. By the last of the nutmeg, we figured out that you could sift it to make it go on more evenly. And bake for 30 to 40 minutes. It'll have a slight wobble when it's done. What's that look like? This is the wobble at 30 minutes for ours. It'll vary for each tart and oven. There, it's ready. Here, you can see it better. It has a slight wobble in the center. It'll firm right up as it cools. Let it cool down on the counter for about 15 minutes, then move it to the fridge to chill the rest of the way. Now here's the part I don't like. Shave off the top edge of the crust like a blacksmith on a horse's hoof. That's too tedious for my liking.
It looks dreamy creamy. And the nutmeg is great. Leave a comment. It'll make our day.